From Royal Communications Incorporated, good evening and welcome to King's Newsroom, 45-minute news about Liberia, Africa, and our one world. Today is Thursday, July 3, 2025, and I'm Shema Dia presenting. In the headlines, University of Liberia launches first ever master and PhD programs. Says the program is designed to make greater impacts in gender-sensitive security practice. House of Representatives ratified ECOWAS treaty on the establishment of Dakar-Abidjan corridor to boost interconnectivity, economic growth, and cross-border cooperation. And also in the news tonight, civil society advocacy platform Liberia calls for preparation for survivors of the 1979 Rest Riot and families of Liberia Civil War victims as means of holistic national healing and reconciliation. Away from home, Nigeria's two main opposition leaders have joined a new political party to challenge President Bola Tinubu and his ruling party in the next election. Ethiopia says it has completed building a mega dam on the Blue Nile that has long been a source of tension with Egypt and Sudan. These plus the news bulletin voices of those making the news at our package will take a short break to be right back. Welcome back at this John Chow with John Sam and Juice with the news bulletin.
The University of Liberia College of Gender Studies and Interdisciplinary Research College has officially launched its Master of Science and Doctor of Philosophy programs in Gender and Security Studies. The Master and PhD programs in Gender and Security Studies will provide opportunities for students and professionals in those sectors to advance their career through rigorous academic research at the state-run university. Speaking at the event, UL President Dr. Lide Mapayan emphasized the role women played in Liberia in peace building and security. She added that the newly launched programs will empower Liberian women make greater impact, which will immense contribution to gender-sensitive security practice. At the same time, Professor Ahmed Abubakar Udu, Professor of Gender and Security Studies, who served as inaugural lecturer, said despite efforts through litigation, a national action plan, actualization of gender-based remains a major problem in several parts of Africa. Speaking on behalf of President Joseph Boakai, Dr. Austin Conning, senior political advisor, told the president expressed the president's deepest excitement in the newly launched master and PhD programs in gender and security studies. The event brought together several officials of government, authorities of the University of Liberia, and partners, among others. The House of Representatives has ratified the ECOWAS Treaty of the establishment of Dakar-Abidjan corridor to enhance regional integration, infrastructure, development, and trade facilitation within the West Africa region. According to the House's Bureau of Press and Public Affairs, the decision taken on Thursday followed the presentation of a comprehensive report by the Joint Committee on Transport, Public Works, and Rural Development, Judiciary, adding that these committees have carefully reviewed the provisions of the treaty and recommended its ratification. The ECOWAS Treaty on the establishment of Dakar-Abidjan corridor will boost interconnectivity, economic growth, and cross-border cooperation among ECOWAS member states, including Liberia. The Bureau of Press and Public Affairs of the House of Representatives stated that in the course of its review, the Joint Committee also drew attention to the United Nations Convention on Psychotropic Substances, which have been ratified by over 180 countries. It added that while Liberia is a signatory to the convention, it has not formally ratified the related protocol, but stressed the importance of the protocol in protecting public health, addressing illicit trafficking, and combating the abuse of controlled substances, including cocaine, marijuana, heroin, and narcotics. The Civil Society Advocacy Platform of Liberia says the reburial of Presidents William R. Talbot and Samuel Kanyando must not be limited to political symbolism, but extend to 150 people killed during the 1979 riot and the estimated 250,000 others who died as a result of the Liberian Civil War. The platform Secretary General Adaman Dempster disclosed that the survivors from the Rest Riot and the victims of the Liberian Civil Wars are still bearing the scars of the conflict and no reparation paid to them. Addressing a press conference in Pinsville, outside Monrovia on Thursday, Adaman Dempster said reconciliation should not be limited to the political elite because people who suffer under the leaderships of some of those past presidents have not been given justice, no reparation, and are remain in mass graves in several parts of Liberia. The Civil Society Advocacy Human Rights Platform Secretary General encouraged President Bouakai to ensure that his commitment for national healing should be holistic, thereby considering reparation for those who were made crippled and others who are still carrying bullets in their bodies. A faith-based human rights organization, Faith and Justice Network, has begun a 2-day deliberation on taxation, economic ethics, and justice for religious leaders from the Mano River Union in Monrovia. The deliberation, which is under the theme Reshaping Financial and Economic Ethics, a transformative approach to justice, reparation, and accountability in the Mano River Basin, brought together over 50 religious leaders from Guinea, Sierra Leone, Ivory Coast, and host country Liberia. In welcoming remarks, the chairman of the board of directors of Faith and Justice Network, Bishop Samuel Choir, said the gathering of people of faith is their commitment aimed at challenging the entrenched systems of corruption, tax injustice, and illicit financial flows, as well as deep economic inequality that continue to undermine peace and development in the Mano River region. According to Bishop Samuel Choir, religious leaders will no longer remain on the margin of fiscal debate and will begin speaking out on how national budgets reflect moral priorities, how taxes are structured, and the impact on the poor. Delivering the keynote speech, the Bishop of the Catholic Archdiocese of Monrovia, Reverend Father Gabriel Blamo Jugbe, encouraged policymakers to ensure that tax payment in member countries of the Mano River Union benefits all, regardless of status in the society. Father Jugbe said policymakers, those making more money, pay more contributions to taxes in order to ensure that the poor do not bear the cost of paying the rich in the Mano River Union countries. Nima County District 7 Representative Musa Bility has fulfilled his promise by donating a brand new pickup to the Cloud Hope Foundation and City of Hope Academy. The donation came as part of Representative Musa Ability's continued support to education and community initiatives in Liberia. The Cloud Hope Foundation, established in honor of former First Lady Cloud Marie Weah, is committed to empowering young girls through education and various development programs. In a statement released Wednesday, Madam Cloud Marie Weah, the founder of the foundation, expressed heartfelt gratitude to Representative Musa Ability for his timely and generous contribution. She described the donation as a significant boost to the foundation's ability to deliver on its mission, especially in reaching underprivileged girls across the country. The new vehicle is expected to enhance the foundation's daily operations, including transportation, among others. According to the foundation, the pickup will definitely benefit the City of Hope Academy, which serves as a safe learning space for young girls. The political leader of the Liberian People's Party, Councillor Tiawan Ganglo, has underscored the importance of selfless leadership in building a better Liberia. Speaking at the second anniversary celebration of the Reformers National Congress, Councillor Gonglo emphasized that leadership should be measured not by titles or position, but by positive impact leaders make in the lives of ordinary citizens. He urged the appointed leaders of the RNC to lead with commitment, honor, and a sense of national duty, especially in these critical times. For his part, the national chairman of the Reformers National Congress, Daniel Dishiel, expressed dissatisfaction with the Unity Party-led government. He noted that despite being one of the first political parties to endorse the Unity Party during the 2023 general and presidential elections, the RNC has not been offered any meaningful role in the Unity Party government. Chairman DC called on the government to prioritize what he described as the bread and butter issues that directly impact the daily lives of ordinary Liberians, as promised during the elections campaign. He reaffirmed his commitment to strengthening the internal structure of the Reformers National Congress and prepare the party for more strategic role in the 2029 elections. Also speaking at the event, Montserrado County District 1 Representative Kennedy Pee Wee Sando called on the national government to ensure a balanced and impartial justice system. He urged authorities to treat both former and current government officials equally under the law. Mr. Sando's comments came amid ongoing debate surrounding accountability and justice for past and present officials. The Progressive Student Alliance of the University of Liberia has officially endorsed the planned July 17 protest organized by a group under the banner We the People, in collaboration with Solidarity and Trust for a New Day. Speaking at the event, PROSA chairman Justin Jaliba described the endorsement as a necessary step aimed at drawing national government attention to what the group considers serious governance issues under the administration of Joseph Boakai. Mr. Jaliba criticized President Boakai, accusing him of misplacing national priorities, pointing to the recent reburial of former Liberian President Samuel Kanyando and William R. Talbot and other Liberian officials. According to the student leader, spending resources on reburial ceremonies at a time of economic crisis sends out a wrong message in the wake of the ongoing struggle many Liberians face daily, including inflation, unemployment, and inadequate public service. Jaliba emphasized that Liberia is currently grappling with deep economic hardship, which he believes is being worsened by widespread corruption and lack of accountability in government. He urged Liberians, especially the youth, to come out in large numbers to participate in the protest to call on the government called the government's attention on issues including economic hardship, corruption, and lack of accountability. And President Joseph Walker will host a national healing, reconciliation, and unity program on Saturday at the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Ministerial Complex in Congo Town. Announcing the upcoming event, Dr. Jasa Jasoma Jala, Minister of Education and Chairperson of the National Rebellion and Reconciliation Committee, emphasized that the national gathering will honor not only the memory of Liberia's former leaders, but also the thousands of citizens who perished during the country's brutal civil conflict, the deadly Ebola epidemic, and the devastating COVID 19 pandemic. The July 5th event will bring together members of the three branches of government, representatives of the diplomatic community, faith based and traditional leaders, youth and women groups, international organizations, and civil society actors. According to an executive mansion release, distinguished speaker or the keynote speaker, Dr. Antoinette Rutayisari, will address the gathering, delivering a message centered on healing the wounds of the past, strengthening national unity, and charting a peaceful future for all Liberians.
Sam and Juice with the news bulletin. The news bulletin is a regular feature on King's News Boom. A reminder you're listening to King's News Boom, 45 minutes news about Liberia, Africa, and our one world. Stories we following tonight. University of Liberia launches first ever master and PhD programs in gender and security studies. UEL President Dr. Lady Penn says the program is designed to make greater impact in gender sensitive security practice. House of Representatives ratifies ECOWAS treaty on the establishment of Dakar Abidjan corridor to boost interconnectivity. Economic growth and cross-border cooperation. Civil society agency Platform Liberia calls for reparation for survivors of the 1979 Rust riot and families of Liberia's Civil War veterans as means of holistic national healing and reconciliation. Away from home, Nigeria's two main opposition leaders have joined a new political party to challenge President Bola Tinubu and his ruling party in the next election. Ethiopia says it has completed building a mega dam on the Blue Nile that has long been a source of tension with Egypt and Sudan. We took a break to be back with voices of the newspapers. Welcome back and thanks for being there. The University of Liberia, through its College of Gender Studies and Interdisciplinary Research College, has officially launched its Master of Science and Doctor of Philosophy programs in Gender and Security Studies. The Master's and PhD programs in Gender and Security Studies will provide opportunities for students and professionals in these sectors to enhance their careers through rigorous academic research at the state run university. Speaking at the event, UAL President Dr. Lady Payne emphasized the role women play in Liberia in peace building and security. She added that the needed launch programs to empower Liberian women make greater impacts, which will and hence immense contribution to gender-sensitive security practice.
Today, we open a new chapter in the life of our 163-year-old institution with the launch of Liberia's first Master of Science and Doctor of Philosophy programs in Gender and Security Studies. We at the University of Liberia, in collaboration with our partners, the International Academy of Gender and Peace in Nigeria, reaffirm our commitment to scholarship that meets our nations, our regions, and our continent's most urgent and pressing needs. Liberia, like many nations in the sub-region and on the continent, has risen from conflict and strives daily to consolidate and reaffirm peace. It is impossible for us to discuss security, however, without discussing gender. In Liberia, women have famously contributed to negotiating ceasefires, running refugee camps, and rebuilding communities. Yet, women remain underrepresented and underrecognized in security-related decision-making spaces, places where policy is shaped and where the meaning of security itself is defined. Our new graduate program in Gender and Security Studies aims to convert this historical lacuna into a site replete with gender-informed and gender-sensitive academic innovation and rigor, as well as transformative practice. Let me share with you why we believe that this new program matters so greatly to our beloved Liberia as well as to our sister African nations. First, our new graduate program in Gender and Security Studies will bridge and blend theory and practice. Graduates will synthesize theoretical insights with field-based research and practical experience and emerge ready to advise diverse stakeholders on women empowering and gender-sensitive security practice.
At the same time, Professor Ahmed Abubakar of the PhD Prefecture of the Gender and Security Studies, who served as inaugural lecturer, said despite efforts through legislation, National Action Plan, actualization of gender-based issue remained a major problem in several parts of Africa.
You will perhaps maybe have time to read it very well. It's very rich. You will acquaint yourself with the global practice of how gender approach are being introduced in security sector, and then how if we involve women, we can really find a solution to end of violence in Africa. The analysis of the gender-based violence in Africa and the role of the security sector in either perpetrating or preventing such violence reveals the urgent need for systemic reforms. Gender-based violence remains a persistent threat across the continent, manifesting in various forms such as domestic abuse, sexual violence, harmful traditional practice, institutional neglect. Despite efforts through legislation, national action plans, and institutional programs, the responses remain fragmented and underfunded and lacking in gender sensitivity. Now, in trying to study some of the case studies of countries that actually involve very recently women in the spheres of their administration, you can give an example of Rwanda, you can give an example of Ghana, where you have some reasonable percentage of women that have been involved in other politics, in administration, in running the economy, in education, and what have you. Now, these are, and in fact, like the example of Ghana, Ghana introduced even a unit in the security sector that should cater for the needs of gender, the gender mainstreaming. And then Rwanda, I know that in Rwanda, to even encourage women, the salaries of women have a kind of the percentage of the salary of women is higher than that of men.
Behalf of President Joseph Boakai, Dr. Augustine Conan, senior political advisor to the Liberian leader, expressed the president's deepest excitement in the needed launch master and PhD programs in gender and security studies.
The President is delighted to endorse the launch of the Master of Science and PhD programs in Gender and Security Studies, as proposed by the President of the University of Liberia through the University of Liberia's Board of Trustees. These programs mark a significant milestone in the University of Liberia's journey towards excellence. They will enhance the university's reputation in gender and security studies while addressing the human resources development needs of our country. The President wishes to express his deepest gratitude to the President of the University, as well as her partners, including the Nigerian professors and experts who contributed to the development of these programs. Let's give them a round of applause, please. Special thanks go to our distinguished guest speaker, Professor Ahmed Abubakar Odi, that I've known for a long period of time. You know, I taught at Morehouse in Atlanta, Georgia. He was one of our visitors at our university. And Professor Frederick Tayo, the director of the African Center for Gender and Security Studies based in Abuja, Nigeria. Their expertise and collaboration with the university president and her dedicated faculty and staff.
So, Augustine Conan, senior political advisor to President Joseph Boakai. Earlier, you heard voices of Professor Ahmed Abubakar Abdi, who served as the inaugural lecturer at the occasions of the University of Liberia official launch of the Gender and Security Study programs. The Civil Society Agency Platform of Liberia says the reburial of Presidents William Arutobo and Samuel Kanyado must not be limited to political symbolism, but extended to 150 people killed during the 1979 West Riot and the estimated 250,000 others who died as a result of the Liberian Civil War. The platform Secretary General Adama Dempster disclosed that the survivors from the West Riot and the victims of the Liberian Civil War are still bearing the scars of the conflicts and no reparation paid to them.
For reconciliation to be meaningful, it must transcend political symbolism and include the stories, pain, and demands of ordinary citizens suffer as a result of the back-to-back violent civil war during the Liberian conflict era. Furthermore, reconciliation cannot be exclusive to political elites, especially those who have long contributed to Liberia's suffering. If former leaders are welcomed home as symbols of peace, then the families of victims and survivors of atrocities and communities must also be acknowledged and included. Those who suffered during the 1979 Rest Riot, where over 100 peaceful demonstrators were reportedly killed while protesting the hard increase in price of rice. These citizens were buried in mass graves, and to this day, their families have received no justice, no recognitions, and no reparations, including those who died or suffered due to the aftermath of the 1980 coup. The two Liberian Civil War between 1989 to 1997, 1999 to 2003 recorded over 250,000 deaths, characterized by rape, torture, recruitment of child soldiers, sexual slavery, and enforced displacement. While
He's the Secretary General of the Civil Society Advocacy Platform of Liberia, Dempster. That's Adam at Dempster. A reminder you listen to King's News Broom 45 minutes news about Liberia, Africa, and our one world. Stories we follow in tonight. University of Liberia launches first ever master and PhD programs in gender and security studies. UEL President Dr. Lady Mapan says the program is designed to make greater impacts in gender sensitive security practice. House of Representatives rectified ECOWAS treated on the establishment of Dhaka Abidjan corridor to boost interconnectivity, economic growth, and cross-border cooperation. Civil society advocacy platform Liberia calls for reparation for survivors of the 1979 Rest Riot and families of Liberia's Civil War victims as means of holistic national healing and reconciliation. Away from home, Nigeria's two main opposition leaders have joined a new political party to challenge President Bola Tinubu and his ruling party in the next election. Ethiopia says it has completed building a Nika dam on the Blue Nile that has long been a source of tension with Egypt and Sudan. We'll take a break to continue with more voices. Welcome back and thanks for being there. A faith-based human rights organization, the Faith and Justice Network has begun a two-day deliberation on taxation, economic ethics, and justice for religious leaders from the Mano River Union in Monrovia. The deliberation, which is under the theme Reshaping Financial and Economic Ethics, a transformative approach to justice, reparation, and accountability in the Mano River Basin, brought together over 50 religious leaders from Guinea, Sierra Leone, Ivory Coast, and host country Liberia. In welcome remarks, as a chairman of the board of directors of the Faith and Justice Network, Bishop Samuel Choir said the gathering of people of faith is their commitment aimed at challenging the entrenched system of corruption, tax injustice, illicit financial flows, as well as deep economic inequality that continue to undermine peace and development in the Mana River Union.
We are gathered here not as strangers from different nations, but as one people of faith, conscience, and shared struggle, committed to challenging the entrenched systems of corruption, tax injustice, illicit financial flows, and the deepening economic inequality that continue to undermine peace and development across our region. This campaign is a clarion call to repentance, restitution, and reform. FJN believes that systems can change, leaders can turn around, and nations can be redeemed. But only if we confront the economic and ethical injustices that have become too familiar in our societies. As churches and faith communities, We can no longer remain on the margins of fiscal debates. We must speak to how national budgets reflect moral priorities, how tax structures impact the poor, and how economic decisions align with or violate the values of justice and human flourishing. Our gathering here in Monrovia will critically analyze unjust tax policies and their impact on social and economic inequalities in Liberia and the wider region. The conference will offer a theological and moral reflection on taxation, wealth, and justice from a faith-based perspective. And we will launch a long-term campaign for tax justice, economic dignity, and ecological restitution in the Mano River Basin and beyond. In this new campaign, we will mobilize churches, mosques, and civil society to advocate for transparent and equitable tax systems at national and international levels. Let us use these days to engage, to challenge, to reimagine, and most importantly, commit to building a region where wealth is not hoarded by a few, but stewarded for the good of all, where governments are not run by greed, but by justice.
Delivering the keynote speech, the Bishop of the Catholic Archdiocese of Monrovia, Gabriel Jubwe, encouraged policymakers to ensure that tax payment in member countries of the Mano River Union benefit all regardless of status in society. APN Terminals, in collaboration with Liberia Port Authority, has launched a landmark achievement in maritime development with the official launch of maritime navigation and the commission of new port equipment at the Freeport of Monrovia. Speaking at the launch of the equipment, NPA Managing Director Sekou Dukle said the milestone that the launch of the event marks the beginning of 24-hour operations, ushering in a new era of efficiency and trade capacity. We will bring you that except in our subsequent newscast. For Pat Brenner Gilbert, that's Chief Commercial Officer, APN Terminus, noted that the nighttime operations expand trade capacity, create room for jobs, and position for Liberian for stronger global integration. According to Madame Gilbert, the launching reflects the strength of public-private collaboration and shared commitment to building systems that serve people and enable economies to strive. Well, we sincerely apologize. We can't bring you any other clip due to technical problem. The Way from Home Ethiopia says it has completed building a mega dam on the Blue Nile that has long been a source of tension with Egypt and Sudan. Launched in 2011 with a 4 billion euro budget, the dam is Africa's biggest hydroelectronic or electric plant and a major source of pride for Ethiopians. Ethiopia sees the dam as vital to meeting its energy needs, but Egypt and Sudan see it as a threatening their water supply from Nile. Well, on that note, that's how we'll come to a near end of this edition of King's Newsroom. Before we go, a quick reminder of stories we followed in the headlines. University of Liberia launches first ever master and PhD programs in gender and security studies. UEL President Dr. Lady Mapen says the program is designed to make greater impact in gender sensitive security practice. House of Representatives ratified ECOWAS treaty on the establishment of Dakar-Abidjan corridor to boost interconnectivity, economic growth, and cross-border cooperation. You also heard in the news, civil society advocacy platform Liberia calls for reparation for survivors of the 1979 reverse riot and families of Liberia Civil War victims as means of holistic national healing and reconciliation. Away from home, Nigeria's two main opposition leaders have joined a new political party to challenge President Bola Tinubu and his ruling party in the next election. Ethiopia says it has completed building a mega dam on the Blue Nile that has long been the source of tension with Egypt and Sudan. Many thanks to our reporters, correspondents, and all those who helped in making this edition of King's Newsroom a success. Sam Andrews brought you the news bulletin. Frank Dialoso and Sarah Control and handle the technical aspect of this edition. On behalf of the team, I'm Shemon Dale. I presented. Thanks for listening. I wash you.
You are now tuned in to your number one radio station.
Kings 88.5